Hey beautiful people, thanks for joining in again. Today we're going to talk about the trumpet string on a hurdy-gurdy, that delightful buzzing aspect that is so much fun to play. I'll show you how to adjust it. If your trumpet isn't buzzing at all, I'll show you how to dial it in so it does, and also so you can fine-tune it to get just a basic rhythm or get those rapid machine gun-like rapid fires of your right hand. We'll cover all this on today's episode. Let's get started. Before we show you how to adjust the trumpet, let's show you what it is. The trumpet string is the one that buzzes. The actual bridge is a floating bridge. It's different than a normal bridge. Hopefully you can see pretty well here that it's only held in place by string tension. The actual bridge is called the dog. The way it works, if I crank my hand nice and even, I just get a regular pitch like a regular drone string, but when I start cranking unevenly, like with little gyrations of my cranking hand, that's what causes it to buzz. These little gyrations of my cranking hand causes the wheel to lurch forward a little bit, which lifts the string up. Of course, the string pressure, you see it pulls the bridge up. The string pressure pulls the bridge back down. And what you're hearing is the hammering of the little foot of the dog. So that's how it works. Now, if your dog isn't buzzing, if you can't control it, we're going to show you some tricks to get it dialed in. The first one is the easy one. It has a built-in adjuster, a violin peg, which is tethered to the actual string. The tighter this is, the more it's going to buzz. The looser it is, it's not going to buzz. It's kind of a question of degree. I'll give you a demo. I'll loosen it up. Maybe you can hear I'm not cranking super even. Maybe you can hear the unevenness of my cranking, but it's not really buzzing. But now I'll gradually tighten this, which pulls on this, which pulls on the string, and you'll hear it start to buzz more and more. If I go too far, it buzzes uncontrollably, so I'll back it off. You hear there's kind of a sweet spot in there where it buzzes just right for my sense of feel when I'm cranking. Everyone will have a different idea of what's comfortable. Of course, you can hear after I adjust this, it detunes the string. So once you get it dialed in, you'll want to make sure you retune your string. All right, let's say you do that and you can't get it to buzz. Check your cotton. If your cotton is too thick, usually that'll muck up the action. So you want a nice thin tube of cotton. Also, cotton can slide around. You see how I'm doing that? If it slides off, that can affect it or affect the tone to make it sound scratchy. I'll give you a quick demo. See how it's a little scratchier sounding? So let's make sure our cotton is kind of covering the wheel there. Much nicer sound. Excellent. All right. The next step, make sure the string is properly in tune. This is a silly thing to mention, but is definitely worth mentioning. I have this question come up with a lot of new players, especially. The trumpet string, the buzzing, works best within a pretty narrow range of tension. Now that's calculated into your instrument as long as you keep the string tuned properly. If you have it a step too flat, it's not going to be as satisfying to play. The next step we'll cover is rosin on the wheel. If it's just not buzzing for you, you can add a little rosin. Whatever technique you use, I prefer cake rosin on mine. Just let it skate across the wheel a little bit. That'll usually liven up the dog quite a bit. The next thing we're going to look at is the string line. This is often overlooked and pretty important for the trumpet to work properly. The tool you'll need for this is a ruler or a straight edge of some sort. What am I looking for? I want to plot a straight line here. So I'm lining my ruler up with the wheel through here, right along the string, and then the end of the string. is what I'm checking. So all this part between the trumpet bridge and here, I'm not worried about that. Just the straight edge of this part here. And then the end of the string. I want it to be ideally a straight line. If the string on this end curves inward, like if it's something like that, see how that pulls way in from my ruler there? That's going to cause you problems. So you want it to be in a straight line. What happens if it goes outward a little too far? Well, that's not going to cause a problem. It's really if it just goes inward too much. It's not going to buzz very controllably. Okay, two more things to look at. And these both involve the tensioner of my peg. The first thing, we'll make sure that you see this is coming kind of straight off at a 90 degree to the string. We want to make sure that's the case. If this guy is too far askew, like way over here or way over here, that can cause problems. So where this comes right off the tensioner, try to keep it pretty straight. And the final adjustment is the height of this guy. When I say the height of this guy, I mean the way this wraps up the violin peg. Hopefully you can see it in there. If it doesn't sound great or it's buzzing uncontrollably, you can rewrap the string a little lower. So I'll loosen it and rewrap it. See how that wound a little lower on the peg? If it's not buzzing at all, you can incrementally raise this where it's wound around the peg so this guy comes at a slightly higher angle. You can kind of noodle with that little by little until you start to get it to respond just how you like it. Again, if this goes too high, just like if you over tighten it, it buzzes uncontrollably. Whoops. Well, I'm not getting a good sample here. Let me just roll it up a little higher there. Anyway, this guy is behaving pretty well. So let me do it with my other trumpet. I have a second trumpet. I'll show you. I'll wrap this string on that lower one. I'll wrap it a little higher, and it's going to really mess up the tone. And there we go, buzzing uncontrollably. So the way I'm going to adjust that back, and the tone's not great, I can lower. Let me get that one out of the way. I'm working with the lower one here. I'll wrap that lower down the string. Generally speaking, you want it as low as you can go while still being able to get a nice, crisp, controllable buzz. I personally think that the lower the winding, you get a better, snappier tone. There, that's not too bad at all. Anyway, hopefully you get the gist. Why do you need to learn these once your instrument is set up? It's good, right? Well, this is something that you should know because if you ever change the string, which you most definitely will at some point in your instrument's life, you're going to have to go through all these adjustments anyway to get it dialed back in. It's pretty easy overall, only takes a minute or two, and once it's done, usually you don't have to worry about it too much. So hopefully this helps and gets you having more fun with your instrument.